Hey everybody, it's Aaron from Primetime. So I get some questions sometimes about what I use for a DJ system. And just want to run through that with you guys today, show you what I use. There's no right or wrong way to do it. This is just what I'm comfortable with using and what I built. So starting at the top, I have an HP DV7 computer I use with Virtual DJ. It's the only program that I use on that besides Windows itself, because I want to make sure I have a dedicated laptop. Actually, 3 laptops I have strictly just for DJing, with not having to worry about viruses or anything like that. So that's very important. Underneath that, I've got the Denon MC6000 MK1. It's the original that they came out with, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, I think. I do have an MK2 in the mail on the way here. Should be here tomorrow. Very similar setup, but the great thing I like about this controller is that it's very compact. You have a 19-inch rack mount controller here, which is a rarity in equipment, in DJ equipment these days. A lot of folks are just, they have a tabletop setup or something that they might put in a DJ coffin, which is great for the turntablist and the folks who might be doing a lot of club stuff. But for the mobile DJ who's doing a lot of weddings and whatnot, this is really a great, powerful piece of equipment. You do have all the mixing capabilities that you would with a larger controller. You can scratch, you can blend, you have effects that you can use. But if you want more information on that, just head to denondj.com and take a look. Underneath that, we've got a very simple AKG SR450 receiver. I have obviously the corresponding microphone to go with it. And then underneath that, I have a DBX 166XL compressor limiter gate. Now, this piece of equipment right here, this little guy, I think is really, really, really important to a mobile DJ environment, simply because its entire purpose is feedback suppression. When somebody stops talking on a microphone, it just closes that gate, closes the channel, so that way there's no possible way for feedback or rumbling or just little annoyances that may occur when somebody else beside yourself who's trained to use one uses your microphone. I would highly encourage many DJs, if not all DJs, to invest in something like this, maybe not this unit, but something similar, to help you with your microphone and help you get the most out of other people using your microphone. It's really going to help a lot, and it does make a big difference. And people compliment all the time. They say, well, geez, I didn't even get any feedback at my wedding. It was wonderful. Well, it's because you're not supposed to have any feedback at your wedding. So that's that unit. Our newest addition to this rack is the AAA power protection. These 2 units, I think they're about $350 a piece on Amazon. Go out and get them. Yes, it's hard to part with $350 for something that doesn't make noise or light up, but it's well worth the investment. These 2 have really saved my ass a couple times this year with venues that have less than desirable power, because it'll tell you if there's a fault. It regulates the power, gives you clean power quite nicely, so you don't have to worry about power fluctuations with these very much at all. So really a great product. Underneath that is the real meat and potatoes of the system, which is the Crown XTI 4000s. They do have the XTI 2 series, which is the predecessor to this. Essentially the same amplifier. They've made a few upgrades for cooling and thermal dissipation, which really helps out with overheating. But I haven't had any issues with these in the past, I don't know, 5-6 years that I've had them. So they're really, really good. Along with the XTIs, a really cool feature is the digital sound processing program that you can get from Harman. It's called System Architect, and you can really dial in whatever you're using, whether it's 15s, 12s, 10s, 8s, subwoofers, folded horns, whatever have you. It's a really, really great program full of EQs, limiters, crossovers, all in one, and it all happens right here in this amplifier, which is great, because in the days of old we used to have a rack like this filled with nothing but compressors, limiters, gates, crossovers, you name it. And there was a rack space for everything, and that's where the digital sound processing really comes in handy with this program. You can set it and forget it if you want, a nice even keel sounding system, or if you want to change the dynamic depending on the room you're in. You've got 20 presets per amplifier with this program. So if you had venues that you frequented on a regular basis, you can say, okay, number 1 is AquaTurf, number 2 is the Riverview, number 3 is Candlewood Inn, and so on, and really have those dynamics down pat no matter where you go, which is kind of nice. Also, with the sound reinforcement that I use the EV115s, the EOX 115s. I think it's a 1.5-inch high-frequency compression driver and a 15-inch low-frequency woofer. It's a great warm-sounding box. It's very flat out of the gate, which I like because you can change the dynamic how you wish. There's other brands out there that obviously do a great job with their cabinets. I just happen to like EV's products because they really give you the most control over how you want your sound to be, which is a big plus for me because I'm an audio engineer and I like my sound how I like my sound. So great speakers. Behind them is the ELX 118s. I'm not using those for the school dance that we're preparing for, but that's just a simple front-loaded 18-inch subwoofer. What we are using, though, these cabinets are probably, 25 years old, but they're still in excellent condition. I reloaded them with new drivers, but this is the EVSH 1810 LER. It is an 18-inch manifold subwoofer. It's not as deep as, say, a Cerwin-Vega Afterburner, but the sheer mechanics of it work very similar. Basically, the sound gets driven into the box and then out through the bottom through just a massive port. It's great for long throw bass applications. The waves that come out of these things are probably between 20 and 25 feet long, so to pull them back away from the dance floor and pair them up really gives you a big punch. And for this particular school dance, we're using 4 of them. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tour of my system. Leave your comments below, and we'll see you next time.